as a generation, as a community. We have several challenges for our time. And the fight of this generation, of this time, maybe the burden of this generation may be the salvation of our children. Our ministerial staff has witnessed an increase of youth who some would say demonstrate post-traumatic stress, sleepless nights, fear of the outdoors, severe paranoia, because they have witnessed violence. And I was approached by several of our young people yesterday who want the church to support them to engage and confront this issue of violence. And so this is what we are going to do. We are asking all of our young people, immediately following the worship service today, that you will sign up. You will sign up because we are going to have a march against violence next Sunday, immediately following the worship experience. That will be at 2:30. That will be at 2:30. We are asking all of those who attend the 11 o'clock service that you will wear a t-shirt and comfortable shoes. A Trinity t-shirt. I know some of you have some interesting t-shirts. So please wear a Trinity t-shirt and comfortable shoes as we're doing this march against violence. One of the things that we're going to be doing, several of the things that we're going to be doing as this is evolving. On Wednesday night, our prayer service will be devoted to our young people and the issue of violence. We'll also be changing the liturgy next Sunday, which will be very inclusive of our young people so that they can tell their stories, because there are some things that are happening in their lives that they have not even shared with their parents. And one of the ways for them to take control of a situation is to be able to talk about the situations that they are going through. And so that will also be available. We're also asking that our young people are going to be on Saturday. They'll be together creating signs, creating banners that will be for the march. And so we're asking all of our young people to come on Saturday who have some artistic talent, who want to be able to shape and name some of the challenges that they are facing. We will do that on Saturday. And that we will carry those banners next Sunday, and we will also hang them in the sanctuary so that everyone has a sense of some of the issues and challenges and what is on the hearts and minds of our young people. We are also asking for all of their email addresses because we are going to devote our Facebook page so that they can begin to put in poetry, statements, prose, whatever it may be, to articulate their feelings about what is going on in their lives. And so we're asking for all of the adults to support this. So next Sunday, we don't want you exiting before the benediction, as some of you like to do. But we want you to be with us for this very important march against violence. This is an evolving piece. We're asking those who are police officers also if you would go to the atrium. We need your information because we also want to be able to help our young people in terms of tips about being safe. When you have young people who, as our ministerial staff has experienced, as I've experienced, who are just thankful that they can just make it back home after school, something's wrong. No child should be terrified going to school. You should not have to worry about, is your child coming home when you send your child to be educated? And the other thing that we are doing is that we are going to petition the city of Chicago. Now, we spent $49 million to try and get the Olympics to come to Chicago. And the Olympics didn't show up. If we can raise $49 million to go to Copenhagen, then we can raise money to deal with our young people, to provide after-school programs, to make sure arts and music is not cut, to make sure that we have more police on the street, and that this is a priority in our community. If 37 young people were killed on the north side, funds would be flowing from every sector of Chicago, in the city and outside of the state. Our young people are just as precious, brilliant, as wonderful as any child in this city, any child in this country, and we expect the best, and we demand the best, and we believe that there needs to be civic, political, religious leadership that says we are going to make this a priority. We are going to be calling for a national summit on violence and gun violence in partnership with St. Sabina. And it's fascinating to me that if we can go and negotiate with Iran and North Korea and Afghanistan, we can deal with warring gangs in other communities. Why can't we deal with warring gangs in our own community? So we as a congregation are going to make sure that we are at the forefront of this struggle, because this is the burden of this generation. The salvation of our children is the burden of this generation. And the question for us is, children who have not yet been born, will they say that a previous generation dropped the ball? Or will they be able to say that there stood a people who were willing to stand up for children who had not yet been birthed from the womb? This is the burden of this generation. If we are to have a future, we've got to deal with the present right now. And so I'm going to ask that you would support this very important effort as we are all across the church. I'll be making this announcement at every service. We want everyone here at 2:30 next Sunday. We want your young people to sign up immediately following the worship service so that we can have their information. And as this project evolves, there are going to be new things that we are adding to this project so that we can be at the forefront. In the words of Dr. King, the church should be the headlight and not the tail light when it comes to issues in our community.